It's Friday, January 11th. I'm Paul Hukalak. Welcome to TV7.ca News. Today, plan ahead and book your booth. Are the frozen bodies of water around town safe to skate on? And we've got a new segment to help you keep your New Year's resolution. But first, TV7.ca took a couple of weeks off to celebrate Christmas and the New Year. Now we're back, and there's a new countdown creating a buzz around town. That's right, this time the countdown is on for the opening of the newly renovated barrier-free Art Gallery of St. Albert, which opens its doors to the public on Saturday, February 9th. Jenny Wilson, director and curator of the Art Gallery of St. Albert, informed us that the current temporary location will be closed for the entire month of January, while they move back to the newly renovated location.
Yeah, we're returning back to our home at 19 Perron Street, which is the historic Bank de Hochelaga. That building's been extensively renovated. We've had a barrier-free renovation, so people with mobility issues, people in wheelchairs, even just parents with strollers will find it much easier to get into the building and access all levels of the building. So they'll be able to visit the basement where all of our barrier-free washrooms have been added, our programming space, and then the main floor where our retail areas are, our feature gallery, and then upstairs for our new exhibitions gallery.
The gallery's inaugural exhibition is Reconciling Edmonton, a collaboration from Reconciliation in Solidarity Edmonton, a dedicated group of citizens committed to supporting reconciliation through words and action. Reconciling Edmonton includes works from poet Anna Marie Sewell, historian and writer Danielle Metcalf-Chennai, visual artist Jenny Vegt, and cultural connector Miranda Jimmy. The Art Gallery of St. Albert will be opening to the general public February 9th.
So we'll be opening to the general public on February the 9th, and that's a free event. We're inviting all members of the public to come. But before that, on February the 7th, we're offering a small group of community members an opportunity to come in before the crowds to take part in our fundraiser for ongoing projects at the gallery. It's going to be a fantastic evening, hors d'oeuvres, cocktails, live entertainment, opportunities to take a tour of the building before anybody else sees it, meet the gallery staff and the architects, and just have a really good time.
Next Friday is the deadline for early bird registration to book your booth for the St. Albert Lifestyle Expo and Sale. This year's expo kicks off on April 5th through to the 7th, as always at Service Credit Union Place. The Lifestyle Expo is always family-friendly and boasts a wide array of vendors, goods, and services. Sure to be back this year is the ever-popular petting zoo and the wildly entertaining St. Albert Gazette Baby Crawl and St. Albert's Got Talent competitions. To put your business, product, or service at the forefront of St. Albertans and our surrounding neighbours, book your booth by visiting the Chamber of Commerce website.
Well, a rare treat. Two sought-after prairie acts combine for a rock-solid double bill next Friday. The Joey Landreth Trio and Ultimita will be performing at the Arden Theatre. Born and raised on the Canadian prairies, Joey Landreth has grown up with a guitar in his hands. And with the rare ability to be both vulnerable and open, you can expect to be entertained with his musical proficiency. And Ultimita, comprised of 4 St. Albert musicians, have become hometown heroes in the greater Edmonton area. Fueled by the strong songwriting of Troy Snattersy, Ultimita skillfully combines honky-tonk heartbeat with rock and roll intensity. We met up with the band during one of their recent rehearsals where they explained the origin of the name.
It comes from a neighborhood in California, and I guess whenever we started making music, this band was like, we were making music that sort of reminded us of that that place and that, that time when there was a lot of music coming out of California, and then now we listen to a lot of that kind of stuff, a lot of, Neil Young and Jackson Browne, and, all those people were flocking there, and that's, a big inspiration for us, so we wanted something that was kind of ambiguous as a band name and kind of landed on that after some trial and error.
They went on to explain what you can expect at the upcoming show.
We try to keep it pretty dynamic, some more high energy songs, and then some more mellow acoustic-y ballads and that kind of thing, so try to keep it.
We're bringing in additional musicians on this one too, so we got pedal steel, a guy named Derek Anderson who's going to be coming in. Congas, auxiliary percussion.
And to support their upcoming album, after their St. Albert appearance, they're hitting the road with the Trews.
We have a new record that's coming out on January 25th, and then we're going on tour right after this show for a couple weeks, supporting the Trews.
Tickets for the Arden Theatre event are available at the box office. And don't forget to check out St. Albert's very own Altamida's new album, Time Hasn't Changed You, on January 25th. And also welcoming in 2019 with a new exhibition is the Musée Héritage Museum. Pandemic is a commemoration of the 100th anniversary of the worldwide Spanish influenza crisis, and we'll take a look back on the communities of Alberta and the impact this event had on them. For example, do you know which global health disaster knocked out 1/3 of the St. Albert population in the 1870s? Pandemic also focuses on more recent diseases, such as polio, HIV, swine flu, and Ebola. This exhibition is not all doom and gloom, however, as it also delves into what humans have learned from past health crises and what science is doing to stay on top of any future health catastrophes. The museum will also host an information session based on this exhibition in February. For more information, visit museeheritage.ca for more details. And Pandemic runs from January 22nd until March 24th.
The City of Edmonton warns people to stay off the stormwater pond this winter. Does this apply to St. Albert? I went outside and froze my butt off earlier this week looking into this very situation. Getting out and staying active in our often inclement Alberta weather can be challenging, so strapping on a pair of skates and heading to the nearest frozen body of water sounds fun on some of our more mild days. However, with the freezing and warming trend our province can experience, it's often a good idea to review a little ice safety. Most of the man-made water features in our community are part of St. Albert's storm water management system. This means their levels can fluctuate and the water under the surface may still be circulating. Although they appear frozen, this current can make the ice thin and brittle. The City of St. Albert has warning signs like this one posted in areas that may seem enticing, but are in fact extremely dangerous. Information on the city's website explains that currently here at Lacombe Park is the only lake that should be considered for winter fun, and only when the ice is at an acceptable thickness. The city maintains this lake for residents to enjoy in the winter. However, recent stress fractures in the ice have made even this lake unsafe at the moment. There are still many outdoor rinks available for use. Visit St. Albert's website for a safe alternative in your neighborhood. For TV7.ca, I'm Lisa Rufiange. Today on Financial Focus, Krista Lucier talks about what you need to know before starting your small business.
I want money.
Today we want to chat a little bit about starting a new business. Often people ask me, I've started a business, now how do I know what to do? There are a couple of things that you need to make sure that you deal with immediately. Registering your business with CRA, if your corporation is mandatory. If you're using a trade name, you'll want to do a registration as well. You also want to make sure that you open a business bank account. Whether you're a corporation or a proprietorship, you want to keep your finances separate from your personal for many reasons, including a potential audit. You want to track your expenses and keep all of your receipts so that you don't lose out on potential expense claims. You also want to determine how you're going to pay yourself, the best way to do that tax-wise, and what your tax filing obligations are. Those are really important things to know when you're going into business, regardless of what your business type is. You want to get a professional on hand. It's best to call somebody for a consult. Many professionals will offer you a free 30 to 45-minute consult over coffee, and you can ask about all of the questions that you have for your business. It's really important to make sure that you're prepared and that you know what you're doing moving forward. I'm Krista Lucier with TV7.ca.
I want money.
The Sturgeon Valley Golf and Country Club is the venue for this year's St. Albert Chamber of Commerce Chairs Luncheon. Come meet all of the 2019 board members and the volunteer chair, Mr. Mark Stoneley, on Wednesday. To register, visit the St. Albert Chamber of Commerce website. A local entrepreneur wants to help you grow your business. Networking Reinvented is this week's Business Spotlight.
We're Networking Reinvented, and we're for entrepreneurs and business owners in the Edmonton, St. Albert, and area to come together and network and grow your business. So networking is, I believe, a huge aspect of growing your business. You can spend lots of dollars on marketing and advertising, but word of mouth really seems to bring in a lot of business, and just by meeting one particular person, that could grow your network by hundreds of people. So by bringing groups of business owners together in a room to get to know each other, become friends, that person's network could grow by hundreds of people and, in effect, grow your business. We meet twice a month. So we have one evening open networking event every month. And then we also have one daytime event as well, which would be a lunch or a breakfast. So our networking group is different than other networking groups in the sense that we're bringing people together to grow relationships first. We want to build our businesses based on authenticity and relationships. So it's not a pitch fest. We're not coming to throw business cards at each other and pitch our businesses, right during the introduction. We start with open conversation, not business related at all, so you get to know each other a little bit before you even know what a person does. You can find us on meetup.com. If you're not sure what that is, it's a website where you can join, create a simple profile, and seek out groups based on interests that you like. So if you just search under Edmonton and our group name, you'll find us.
Well, if you're like me, maybe your New Year's resolution included getting yourself into shape. Our new segment, Let's Get Fit, might just help.
New year and new you. Well, we don't need a new year to make a resolution to ourselves. It certainly doesn't hurt. Create a vision letter, a letter to your future self. What do you want to achieve, and how will you feel once you've achieved it? That adage of what gets written down gets done holds a lot of power when it comes to personal change. We all have a starting point, whether that's because we may have hit what feels like an all-time low, whether that's because we're preparing for a new sports performance season, or maybe we just become a grandparent and looking forward to playtime with the grandkids as they grow up. Create your vision statement today for your future. Then start moving more each day. If you're not moving now, then moving more may start at just 5 to 10 minutes each day. Go for a walk, climb a set of stairs. It's okay to keep it simple. Then week by week, consider adding a few minutes, aiming for 150 minutes of movement per week. Already at 150 minutes? My challenge to you, find ways to up the intensity. Change that walk to a jog. Change the incline to your treadmill, or maybe take in a new fitness class. All right, what I'm gonna be showing you next is our move of the week. All right, so just remember the squat's gonna be our move of the week for this week. I encourage you to give it a try a few times every day, at least every other day. So we're gonna be taking it down, narrow in our squats, pushing through those feet, coming back and pressing back up. Now you might find that you're changing the angle of the foot a little bit, all right? You gotta find what's right for your body. So how are your knees speaking to you, for example? So you might be rotating it a little bit more, a little in, but keep those knees aligned over those feet as you come down, and then again, pressing through the middle of the foot. If you find yourself leaning forward and those toes are coming down, pressing, and your heels are coming up, press through those heels. Think about that impact of your entire foot pressing down to that floor as you come back up. So again, just looking at it from another angle, again, staying with the one with about feet about shoulder width apart, sinking ourselves down, back remains flat, core remains engaged as we press through that foot and come back up. Again, remember, go only as low as right for you and your body. Maybe it's here and then coming back up. Remember to squeeze those glutes at the top to give a little bit extra wow into that workout, or coming in a little bit lower, still making sure as you're coming back up to squeeze those glutes as your finishing point, really working into those glutes for this movement. All right, so again, looking at it from the other side, coming all the way down, pressing through that foot, pushing ourselves back up, and again, squeezing through those glutes. Now, I did mention there's a few different ways we can do this. We did have it wide for shoulder. You can also come in for a chair squat. So we're gonna bring our feet a little bit more narrow, aligned with our hips this time, changing how we're working those muscle groups a little bit more as we sink ourselves down. Back still remaining flat, core still engaged, and then pressing back down again. So again, just from another view, again, our feet are a little bit narrower, lined up with our shoulders, pulling those shoulders back and down, coming on down, raising those arms up to whatever angle works for you and your body, and then press into that foot and come back up again. There we go. That's your basic squat or your chair squat. Again, I challenge you to do 10 a day. 10 in the morning, maybe 10 again at the afternoon and in the evening. See how you feel and then keep adding those intensities. For TV7.ca News, I'm Michelle Parker.
And that's it this week. From us at TV7.ca to you, have a great weekend. I'm Paul Huckalak.